Good day to all of you. Our next topic is all about chromatic energy of architectural design. So what is chromatic energy? So when you say chromatic energy, it is a phenomenon of light or visual perception that enables one to differentiate otherwise identical object. No? So it is a phenomenon. Anong phenomenon? Phenomenon is an observable fact or situation that is observed to exist or happen. So parang ano na siya phenomenon is an act of God na galing yan sa nature, no? So chromatic energy of architectural design. So we have this color, light, and texture. So what is color? Color is a phenomenon of light or visual perception that enables one to differentiate otherwise identical object. So, kung wala yung color, you cannot identify things. Mahihirapan ka. Kaya nga yung may mga tao na colorblind, they cannot distinguish the something that na magkaiba, parehas nung say identical na bagay, parehas ng ibon, ano? Makikita nila yan na halos pare-parehas lang kasi hindi mo siya madidistinguish kasi identical. Just like this one, yung bird na parrot. No? So, madidistinguish mo lang siya through their colors. No? So, pare-parehas yung itsura nila but magkakaiba sila because of their color. No? So, the aspect of appearance of objects and light source or sources that may be described in terms of hue, brightness, and saturation for light source. No? In terms of hue, what is hue? Hue is a gradation or variety of a color. No? Pag sinabi mo na hue, equal to color. No? Then, brightness is an attribute of visual perception in which a source appears to be radiating or reflecting light. So in other words, brightness is the perception elicited by the luminance of visual target. No? Then saturation of light source. So saturation means it is the intensity of color expressed as the degree to which it differs from white. Okay? So what is the meaning of color saturation? In color theory, saturation defines a range from pure color. Pag sinabi mo na pure color, saying nga, pure red, that is 100% saturation. No? Kaya matitingkad sila. So from pure color to gray, that is 0%. No? Saturation is sometimes referred to as color intensity. Example, a fully saturated color is one of pure color, pure, while fully desaturated, desaturated, kabaliktaran ng saturated. So, fully desaturated color appears as gray. So, parang very dull, malungkot na kulay, Saturated colors draws attention due to their brightness and intensity. Okay? So, meaning to say, napakatingkad ng kulay pag saturated yung isang bagay. Saturated color o color saturated. So, example, parrots are of same kind but people are able to distinguish their differences through the colors of their feathers. No? So, because of their colors, nadidistinguish mo yung ibon na ito. But without color, you cannot distinguish kung sino yung kung may mga pangalan sila din, hindi mo sila madidistinguish. So colors, there sure are too many different colors that we see in our everyday living. So in all these colors can be seen in a color wheel. So I hope na you have already your visual technology 1. So yung color wheel, dito makikita yung different colors, like the primary colors, no? The primary is the red, the blue, and yellow. Ito yung triangle niya. Then the secondary and the tertiary color. So describe natin yan or expound natin yan later on. So a color wheel or color circle is an abstract illustrative organization of color use around a circle. Okay? So ito yung color wheel example, no? Around a circle that shows relationship between primary colors, secondary colors, and complementary colors. So meron silang relationship, ano? Nagbabari yan, ano? So primary colors are red, the blue, and yellow. So parang ano siya, triangle. Katulad nung nabanggit ko kanina, no? Then the secondary colors are orange, ano? Orange, the violet, and green. So this one, green. So the complementary colors are red, orange, complementary, the red, orange, the yellow, orange, then the violet, the yellow, green, then the blue, green, violet, green, blue, violet, and red, violet. Okay? So, ito yung composition ng color wheel. So, meaning to say that saan ba nanggagaling itong secondary colors and the complementary colors? Secondary colors, nanggagaling siya sa mixture ng primary colors. Okay? Say for example, if you combine red and yellow, you get what? Orange, no? Red and yellow, you get orange. So andun yung andun na yung secondary color. Okay? So if you combine blue and red, you get violet, no? So another example of secondary colors. And what else? Red and blue, you get, blue and green, blue and yellow, you get this secondary color, which is the green, no? And so on and so forth. So, secondary color, pag kinumbine mo naman yan, you get this red-orange, no? Red-orange, orange, and red-orange. Yellow-orange, pag kinumbine mo naman yung a small portion of yellow, tsaka small portion of red and yellow, you get yellow-orange, no? And so on and so forth. Yellow and blue, you get yellow-green, no? So, you get blue and blue-green, combination of blue and yellow, but more on the mixture, mas marami yung blue. So, and so on and so forth. So, meaning to say that this color wheel represents the all the possible use that can be used in architecture. Okay? Next, Colors have corresponding moods. No? May mood. Ano ba yung mood? Ito yung different types of mood. May masaya, may malungkot, may you can feel warm or cold, etc. So pag-usapan natin 'yan. So meron tayong green, the blue, the violet, red, orange, yellow. So ano-ano ba yung binibigay na psychological mood sa tao ng kulay, no? Okay. So for example, green. Green supports balance, harmony, love, communication, social, nature, and acceptance. So, kaya nga pag sinabi mo na green, example, more on nature. Okay? Then blue or indigo, it increases calmness. No? Calmness. Kaya nga pag magde-design ka ng say a room sa mental hospital, pwede mo siyang kulayan ng blue para magkaroon sila ng calmness environment. Peace, love, honesty, kindness, truth, inner peace, emotional depth, devotion. Okay? So that is the psychological effect of color blue. Then violet. Violet stimulates intuition, no? Imagination, universal flow, meditation. No? If you want to meditate, color your room with violet or purple. Blue also an artistic qualities. Has an artistic qualities. Next is red. So red increases physical energy. Kaya nga, pag sinabi mo na red, masaya, no? May energy. Pag may birthday, nagsusuot ng kulay red because dapat mag-increase yung energy mo, masaya ka pag birthday mo, no? Kaya nagsusuot ng red. What else? Yung meron siyang vitality, stamina, the grounding spontaneity, stability, and passion. No? Orange, it stimulates creativity, productivity, pleasure, optimism, enthusiasm, and emotional expression. Yellow. Ano ba yung psychological effect sa tao ng yellow? It increases fun. Masaya. Also, humor, lightness, personal power, intellect, logic, and creativity. Okay? And some of us has its own favorite colors. No? Say for example, yung mga kandidato natin, may hilig din sila sa branding colors. No? Like for example, si Manny Villar, he uses orange color. No? Si Cory Aquino, nung nabubuhay pa siya, gumamit siya ng yellow color para magkaroon siya ng brand. Pag makita yung yellow, so pumapasok ka agad yung na kay Cory ka. Sino pa? O dito sa local, pag green, Lee. Lee. Pag orange, Juneda. Hindi ko alam yung present administration ngayon kung ano yung kanilang preferred color. Okay? But these are an example of a psychological effect of color in our system. Okay? So tayong mga human, meron din tayong mga favorite colors. Na pag dapat gusto natin yan because nagkakaroon tayo ng calmness sa sarili natin. May convenient and other things na nagiging ano sa atin, very appropriate yung type of color. Next, light, no? Yung ilaw is something that makes vision possible. So, just imagine walang ilaw, no? Sabi nga doon sa Bible, nung ginawa ni God yung mundo, wala pang ilaw, no? And sabi niya, ginawa niya yung light o liwanag. There will be light. Kaya nagkaroon ng sun and the moon, no? So just imagine if walang ilaw. Kaya nga yung mga hindi nakakakita, merong impaired vision. Yan yung kulang sa kanila, hindi sila nakakakita. Because walang liwanag na nakikita sila, no? Something that makes vision possible, no? Nagpapaganda ng earth is the light. So the speed of light in a vacuum is defined to be exactly 299,792,458 meter per second. So that is the speed. Kaya nga pag sinabi speed ng light, talagang sobrang bilis niyan, no? Iba naman yung speed and sounds kasi mas mabilis yung light, no? Approximately 186,282 miles per second. So that is the speed of light. So madaling makita mo kaagad. Huh? So whenever there is light, there will always be shadow. Ano ba yung shadow? Anino? Or a dark area or shape produced by a body coming between rays of light and surface. So that is shadow. In arts, specifically visual arts, light and shadow is very important. So sa mga photographer, sa mga artists, kahit sa atin, kahit sa inyo, future architects, light and shadow is very important because it gives life to a masterpiece, no? It gives life to a masterpiece. Kung walang light and shadow, magiging dull o baliwala yung yung konsepto mo o yung art mo. So here are some example. This one, still life, no? Sa subject nyo na visual technology o visual arts communication. One, gagawa kayo ng still life, idodrawing nyo ito. Kung ano yung medium, pwedeng pastel colors or pastel, pwedeng pencil rendering, ink rendering, and so on and so forth. So you can see the lights and the shadows, no? So saan ba nanggagaling yung light? Possible na nandito, no? Or andito sa harapan. So it reflects through the object, the light, and it creates shadows, no? So another example, this one, a baby. Then this one, so makikita mo yung shadow. The light is coming from here. It reflects into the object and casts the shadow. So another example, this one. Then this one. So then this one. So another example. So you can see the light and the shadow cast na tumatama dun sa subject niya, no? So another example. Yeah. So nabanggit na natin to kanina. So because it gives life to a masterpiece, ano? Yung light and shadow. Nagbibigay buhay dun sa yung obra maestra. So just as in visual arts, light also plays an important role in architecture. No? So there is this one quotation in the internet that says, "It is with light that we can bring soul and spirit back into architecture, and perhaps find our souls in the process." No? So even sa architecture, yung mga buildings, no? Very important yung light. It gives or it articulates the shape and the form of the building. It gives beauty to architecture. Okay? So here are some examples of architectural designs that gave emphasis to light. So regardless of the name of this example, but tignan nyo lang yung how these buildings nagkaroon siya ng buhay. Ano? It beautifies, it articulates the structure, especially dun sa yung uh, gabi na settings, ano? So example, this one is the building. So nakita mo yung mga the edges and the contour of the buildings, no? Because of the light, no? So napag-aralan natin 'yan doon sa sa previous discussion, no? This one, no? Because of the light, it gives it articulates the form of the object. Yan. So ang light niya dito sa ilalim. So nagkaroon siya ng another architectural beauty. So light gives life and beauty to architectural design. Texture. Texture is the perceived surface quality of a work of art. So alam natin yung texture. It can be smooth or rough, no? Or other element, no? An element of two-dimensional and three-dimensional design, and is distinguished by its perceived visual and physical properties. Use of texture along with other elements of design can convey a variety of messages and emotion. Quality, no? Equality. Sorry, this one is an example. Another. Then texture applied in architecture. The texture describes the surface properties of the object. Texture are combination of pigments, or when you say pigments, it is a color or pattern of colors inherent in the material. Ano? So, yung inherent, it is the natural color of that particular material. No? Hindi siya yung applied color, kundi talagang dati na siya na kulay. Like for example, wood. Wood has an inherent color. Okay? Or normals, the patterns of bumps, normals. The dents, the waves, and finishes. So texture makes possible to create senses, articulating a pattern, or it gives beauty to a pattern, shaping an interior space, or simply expressing the true quality of materials. It can mark areas to differentiate spaces, create an interaction with people. Yung texture, it create an interaction with people. Meaning to say, halimbawa, naglagay ka ng texture dun sa sa flooring, very smooth, no? In uh, dun sa interior ng building. Okay? So it create an interaction with people. Okay lang ito kasi kahit na like for example dun sa court, basketball court. So ang player okay lang siya na ma mag-stumble down, madapa kasi hindi siya masyado masusugatan, hindi siya masasaktan kaagad-agad, no? So it creates interaction with people. Likewise, pag halimbawa yung smooth surface na yan andun sa labas, no? And naulan na, nabasa, yung mind ng people is itong surface na ito is very slippery, no? Just like sabi nga mahina lang yung dapat yung pag-drive kasi the road is wet and slippery. Okay? Something like that, no? Because of the texture. Pero kung texture niyan is very rough. So ang sa psychological o yung pinapaabot sa ating message niyan na very rough when it is wet, hindi masyado slippery, and so on and so forth, you know? Texture also alters space, sound. So how does space affect sound? Or how does the space or alter space sound? Spaces can affect both the acoustic properties of the sound event itself and may also impose boundaries to the action one can take with respect to this event. For example, sounds heard behind the listeners tended to be more arousing and elicited larger psychological changes than sources in front of the listeners. No? So alters the space sound. It emphasizes certain elements by its variation. No? It gives more attention. No? Emphasize the depth and improve a pattern and rhythms. So pag sinabi mo na rhythms, ano yan? It is a recurrence or paulit-ulit, rhythms or repetition of the elements of a design, which is the repetition of lines, repetition of form, the shapes, the colors, texture, okay, rhythms. So finally, is interesting the idea that texture could be used to invent more complex architectural languages. Okay, so here are some example of the texture. The buildings has different textured, smooth, made of glass and metal panels and concrete. So another example. So a pattern of a natural stones, radial pattern. So the texture is very rough, okay, and different colors. Then another example of texture. This one is a texture. So in conclusion, an excellent architecture design requires all three elements, the color, the light, texture. That is the chromatic energy of architectural design. Okay, so thank you, and that ends our subject matter, chromatic energy of architectural design. Please stand by for our next subject.